Hey, my name is Will. I'm a photographer, model, arm wrestler, cyclist, watchmaker. I have a lot of hobbies. Photography's been my number one passion since 1993. I've had a lot of cameras, been shooting for a long time, and recently I got the Leica M11. I bought a lot of lenses with this, and yesterday the Summilux 35 1.4 Mark II arrived at my house. So I did a couple test shots in my garage. I haven't had a chance to really do a full photo shoot with it because I've only had it a day. We'll look at a couple pictures so you can kind of decide what you think. My first impression is that this aperture ring is almost too easy to turn. I have the 75 Summilux, and it's a little bit more tactile. I don't know if let's see if we can hear this. We're not gonna be able to hear this. So you hear that, it's got more of a snap. This is very loose. So I imagine I'll be changing apertures accidentally with it. Speaking of that, the focusing tab on here, I'm new to it. I haven't had this type of focusing tab. This guy's obviously different, and I've had a lot of Voigtlander and some Zeiss glass. So I found that I was kind of changing my apertures sometimes when I was focusing with this tab, but I believe that won't be such an issue once I get used to it. So those are negatives, if you will. Positives, the colors look great. There's hardly any flare. I did see some chromatic aberration. I'm mainly comparing this to the Zeiss 35 because I used it a lot. I loved that lens. It was a lot longer than this one is, probably up here. It was heavier. It's kind of weird using this lens after being used to the Zeiss because it's so small. The retractable lens hood is nice. You cannot put the cap on unless you pull it back in. I love the lens though, and I love being able to shoot closer. I wouldn't call this a macro lens, but you can get some pretty nice detailed shots. We're gonna look at a few. So it's really nice to have pretty much everything in one camera. I got this M11 after owning a Q2 for a while. The 28mm lens was just a little too wide, a little too distorted for portraits. I like to be kind of close to my subjects. I'm not saying that 35s is the best portrait lens, but I can get a lot of good portraits with a 35. So I wanted to have a nice Leica body with nice Leica glass on there. And I kind of feel like this 35 will be married to my camera indefinitely. We'll see what happens with the 75. I'm going to hold on to it for a little while, but the bank account is hurting after getting this lens. So Leica did not send me this stuff. I bought this with my own money. So everything I say about it is how I feel, is honest. Honestly, I'm impressed and I'm happy with it. After having it a day, I do feel like I made the right decision, but it's a lot more money than the Zeiss lens. So let's look at pictures and see what you think. Here we are in Lightroom. So this is the lens at 70 centimeters. I pretty much just did 70 versus 40 for this because I feel like that's going to play a huge role in how people feel about getting this lens. The ability to go closer. Let's go to 40 centimeters. It's nice to have this. The treadmill got a lot more blurred out too. A lot more separation. There's my Rogue rack at 70 centimeters, and we'll get a little closer at 40 here. Here's just the clasp of my watch. This is at 40 centimeters, so this is as close as you can possibly get. But at 60 megapixels, there's room to zoom in. That is a tiny detail on this clasp right here. And we can fill up the screen with it basically at good resolution. I mean, I've never known these scratches were on here. Not all of them. I knew that was there. Okay, so here we are, 40 centimeters, pretty much max zoom, 70 centimeters, same detail. We're just getting a lot more out of it. There's just saying if your pictures aren't good enough, you're not close enough. It's nice to be able to be closer. Here's my pocket knife, 70 centimeters. plenty of detail, some chromatic aberrations there. And then we'll go to 40 centimeters and zoom. I was focusing on this Espada engraving right here. Yeah, man, I mean, you get a lot more. And I don't know what kind of photographer you are, but I feel like this 35 is essentially a macro lens, portrait lens, landscape. Oh man, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. These are just some of my, some headphones I have. The light was hitting them. I still need to practice around with this lens, but we'll zoom in and kind of see what we have here. I mean, those fit right inside my ear. I know people take pictures of their dogs and cats when they get a new lens, and people are like, why'd you buy a $6,000 lens to take pictures of your dog? Well, sorry I didn't have a trip planned for Italy yesterday. But, I mean, I can get way closer to my pets. I love my dogs. I take a lot of photos of them. And a lot of times when I'm trying to take their picture, they get closer to see, what I'm doing. And at 70 centimeters, you're not going to be able to keep snapping. You have to get up and run back. And now I can get a lot closer to them. So, man, look at that. Look at that bokeh. It's very extreme. You can see some chromatic aberration there. So I feel like the Zeiss 35 Distagon 1.4 is pretty much all the lens anyone needs with the M11, M10R. I just wanted more, and I do not have buyer's remorse, luckily. It's just my pups. Oh, and just to mess around, last night I went outside. This is just moonlight. It was like pitch black out there. But I just set the camera down, did a 2-second shutter timer, and this exposure is 10 seconds long. But man, look at that. It looks almost like daytime out there. ISO 320, f16. I probably could have went to 11. I was kind of surprised at this. I don't know why I was surprised, but it looks great. So there's just a couple shots from 35 Summilux f1.4 Mark II. We'll see how this video does. Maybe I'll update it some more. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the Zeiss 35 f1.4. I don't think there's a ton of footage out there on it. Not a lot of reviews. Okay, let's see here. So this is with the Zeiss. Oh, you kidding me? I got to re-upload all these again? I got some beautiful shots. Yeah, if you guys want to see, I will re-upload these into Lightroom so I can zoom in on them and edit them. If you're interested in seeing more shots with the Zeiss, let me know. It's a really good lens, really good. But if you're someone who wants to marry their lens to a camera, I think this is, for me at least, this is my combo. Oh, and I have a Alpha Guard skin up here. I actually have the silver Leica M11, but I did not want it to get scratched up at all. Really expensive camera. Maybe after I've had it a year or so, I'll warm up to the idea of getting patina on my camera, but right now I'm just trying to keep it pristine. So yeah, thanks for watching.